Quite often, some of the best experiences in life are hardest to put into words, right? Why do you think that is? Well, the only thing words can do is describe an experience. They can never be the experience or replace the experience. Linguists will agree that the words we use are nothing but symbols. They can only represent or suggest something. And that's why we say you can't get wet from the word water, right? Besides, words are always open to interpretation. The word vacation, for instance, will bring up different associations for different people. You may think of that trip you took to Vegas last year. Well, I am thinking of my most recent visit to the Netherlands. Same word, different experience, different meaning. Now, in spite of these limitations, I will attempt to give you my impressions of the VO Atlanta conference that began precisely a week ago. It was last Thursday, can you believe it? For me, going to VoiceOver Atlanta was one of the best experiences of the past 2 years. Why? Well, because of COVID, I had been in self-imposed isolation, like so many of you, and I was so ready to see all my friends and colleagues again, and I must say they didn't disappoint. Stepping into that conference space and seeing all those familiar faces felt like a warm wave of wonderfulness. Was it overwhelming? You bet, but not in a draining sort of way. Being with so many like-minded, kind and caring people gave me a boost of energy instead of taking it away. Of course, I had to pace myself by disappearing into my hotel room from time to time and by skipping the parties. I also avoided prolonged conversations in crowded spaces. So if I kept things short between you and me as we were talking, I hope you'll please forgive me. This year saw the welcome introduction of what I call cozy corners. That's an arrangement of comfy couches away from the masses where people could catch up with one another. There are also handy media stations to charge appliances and produce some social media content. I thought that was a very smart move. A smart move. Thank you, Anna. Everybody appreciated the new coffee and water stations all over the conference space. I'm sure that whoever runs the small hotel coffee shop must be very grateful not to be mobbed by hundreds of very vocal people who all want their tall lattes at the same time. Most sessions, panels and presentations ran like clockwork, and this is a testament to the team of enthusiastic volunteers who were as friendly and helpful as can be. Now keep in mind that at any moment during the day, many things were going on at the same time. The program was jam-packed, and there were some last-minute room changes that were handled in stride. I think it was hard for the organizers to predict how many people would go to which presentation. I get that. Some rooms were filled to the brim and fresh air was in short supply, whereas other topics were not as well attended that took place in a near-empty hall. Perhaps it would be good, just a suggestion, to find out what people are interested in ahead of time and allot space accordingly. Based on my limited observations, the experiential sessions, such as the ones led by VO VIPs like Bill Farmer, Dave Fennoy, Laurie Allen and Scott Brick, were as popular as ever. And as usual, those presentations that focused on business topics were not as busy. We all like to do the fun stuff, don't we? I want to pay a big compliment to Uncle Roy Jokelson, Patrick Kirchner, and all the other folks who were responsible for the audio engineering part of the conference. Even the best speakers are useless if no one can hear what's being said. Technology-wise, I think it was probably the best VO conference to date, and I've been to many. Now, what's hardest to capture is the pervading positive energy in the air at VOA. Maybe they were secretly pumping positive ions through the ducts, but I think it may have been generated by the people that feel drawn to these types of events. They're almost too nice, really. They're too nice. Voiceover professionals are some of the most unpretentious and least intimidating people you'll ever meet. No big egos, just amigos. I can't tell you how fortunate I feel to be part of this heartwarming community. You may have heard that I had to deal with a challenging personal situation during the conference, but being with colleagues who are like family to me helped me get through my grief and experience joy in the midst of sorrow. A special thank you to those of you who stopped me to say how much you appreciate all my blogs and other social media posts. I often wonder if anything I write has any impact at all, but I can stop wondering. It felt really good to get so much heartwarming feedback from you. Here's the thing, when I left the hotel and got back into the real world, I wondered what had happened to our planet. People were no longer smiling. They were arguing over nothing and tried to skip the line to get through to airport security first. And when I looked them in the eye, they ignored me. When I tried to engage in conversation, they just fixated on their phones. How sad. We have so many magnificent means to communicate, yet we do so little to make a real connection. That's precisely why we need events like Voice over Atlanta. By the way, are you coming next year? You bet I am, and I hope to see you there. And if not, I'll see you online, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. Anyway, take care. I'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye.